And then we saw 4 cop cars come up, and they were in the parking lot of the McDonald's. They had their guns drawn.
Now at 11, what happened next? Caught on camera in Northwest Portland. This video first obtained by KGW that shows a Good Samaritan tackling a man to the ground after police say he took a woman hostage with a knife and a chain. Plus, presidential politics in the Pacific Northwest with 2 Democratic candidates making campaign stops today. And a Blazers great takes a bike ride through town to celebrate the 50th season. And he makes a special announcement about some new swag. The news at 11 starts now.
This is KGW News at 11.
He stopped him as he was coming around the corner first and pushed him over the railing and helped them tackle him. And then the police were right on.
First at 11 and caught on camera, a Good Samaritan helps officers take down a man armed with, police say, a knife and a chain. They said that guy had been holding a woman hostage right before that. This after a witness said he tried breaking into a church where kids were having choir auditions. This all happened in a very crowded part of Northwest Portland as fans were still trickling out of today's Thorns game. Take a look.
Cell phone video showing scary moments at a Portland McDonald's. A bystander from Seattle rolls as police appear to point weapons at a man against the wall. They told us that man was armed and holding a woman hostage. As the camera shakes, you'll notice another man around the corner, a civilian in blue holding a drink and watching closely. Then a pop, tasers. The armed man runs, but the Good Samaritan is waiting.
He stopped him as he was coming around the corner first and pushed him over the railing and helped them tackle him. And then the police were right on.
Witnesses lingering after a Portland Thorns game at nearby Providence Park were relieved.
We're not sure if he was an off-duty cop or if he was related to the women who were being held. I'm not sure, but he really helped the police kind of stop the guy once he started to try and run.
No one, including the woman who was held hostage, was hurt. It was only after this happened that the backstory became clear. The man's name, police say, is Christopher Hall. He was armed, they say, with a knife and a chain. There was even a padlock on it. Police said Hall had been chasing people with it.
This guy was forcing his way through this back gate here.
Jim Hebert says Hall was carrying the chain when he showed up minutes before the confrontation at Trinity Episcopal Church. It's about 2 blocks from the McDonald's at West Burnside and 19th.
We went back into the kitchen, tried to lock all the doors, and he tried to beat his way in the door.
Hebert called 911, but he says someone mistakenly let Hall into the church where kids were having choir auditions. Hebert said Hall stood there holding the chain. He seemed disoriented.
No, he didn't hurt anybody here. He was, sort of behaving threateningly, but he didn't hurt anybody here. He definitely was very displeased with me calling the cops on him.
Eventually, Hall left, he says, and walked toward that McDonald's where this played out. Police telling KGW tonight they're grateful this Good Samaritan stepped in, but they caution bystanders against taking such a big risk. The man in blue and the woman briefly held hostage, telling police they don't want to talk to the media.
And we've been digging into this story tonight. A quick records search shows that Hall has already been arrested 3 times this month, including this past Friday. And those past charges include multiple counts of burglary, menacing, and meth possession. Though we should note 2 of the burglary charges were dismissed. He is now facing charges of first-degree kidnapping and attempted aggravated murder. Also caught on camera, a rollover crash on I-205. All right, there we go. So also caught on camera, a rollover crash on I-205 in Southwest Washington. Police say alcohol was involved in this crash. This happened just before 7, 4 miles north of Vancouver. There it goes again. That's so scary. 3 people were hurt in this, and police say 1 driver was taken to the hospital and is facing DUI charges. All right, now to the race for president that came to the Pacific Northwest today. Senator Elizabeth Warren attracted her largest crowd ever in Seattle. But we're going to start here in Portland, where Senator Cory Booker held a grassroots fundraiser tonight. KGW's Lindsay Nadrich was there and has a look at what his message was for Oregonians. Lindsay?
Yeah, Senator Cory Booker said this is a moral moment for America, and this election can't just be about beating one guy. We spoke to him briefly after the event.
Well, first of all, Portland is, as a guy who played football at Stanford, a city I came to a lot and got beat up on. So it was nice to come here and get a great reaction and get embraced a little bit. Look, this is an important state on a lot of levels. This is going to be, could be a long primary. States like Oregon and states like New Jersey that are a little later could actually become very important. So we wanted to have a rally, let people know why I'm running, what I'm about, and what our plan and pathway to victory is. I want to make sure that we're putting a lot more resources into veterans issues and veterans homelessness, supportive housing, special needs housing. So as a guy who's been dealing with this issue, who started his career as a housing rights lawyer, this is something that I know that distinguishes me in the field, and that as President of the United States, I'm going to make sure that communities like this, and from Seattle to Los Angeles, where you see major homeless problems, this is a local issue, but it must be one where the federal government takes responsibility too.
People waited in line to get into the Riveter in Southeast Portland tonight to listen to Senator Booker at his nearly sold-out fundraiser event. He shared personal stories about his life and his parents' struggle to buy a home, saying they were turned away because they're black. He said the people who came together to help his parents back then are the reason he's able to run for president now. Gun violence was another big topic. Before the event, Booker met with students from March for Our Lives Oregon, and during his speech pointed out how nothing has changed after multiple mass shootings. I also spoke with several people who attended the event about why they came and how they thought it went.
I think it's important to come to all events for candidates coming to Portland. Not many of them come here, and they all have something to say, and we all have an obligation to figure out who's the best candidate.
I think Cory's inspiring, and he gives us a lot of hope for unity, and that really gives a warm and message that I think is makes me excited.
I loved it. I just kind of liked how he spoke from his heart and told stories about his own personal experience in life and his own struggles and what he's going to do to try to change things.
The Republican National Committee did weigh in on his visit, criticizing him for his record while he was mayor of Newark, saying he championed stop and frisk searches by police. Senator Booker says he is planning to come back to Portland. Back to you.
All right, Lindsay Nadrich live for us. Lindsay, thank you. And now let's go to Seattle, where about 15,000 people turned out to see another Democratic candidate, Senator Elizabeth Warren. There she is. They actually had to move this event from a theater to Seattle Center because so many people were expected to show up. It was, in fact, the largest crowd at one of her campaign events so far.
It's a sign that people are ready for change in Washington. They understand. We got a government that's working great for the bazillionaires, but just not working for them.
Senator Warren took 3 questions from the crowd about LGBTQ protections, immigrant rights, and about challenging President Trump. The Republican National Committee also weighed in on her visit, saying Warren, quote, has a lot of explaining to do while trying to persuade Washingtonians to support her socialist agenda, end quote. Brush fires broke out near Portland Public Schools headquarters this afternoon. You can see the smoke in this video. That was actually from 3 separate fires. Crews say a homeless camp near Hancock Street and Flint Avenue was damaged as a result of this. You can see the flames in that shot. We're told there was no significant damage to buildings nearby, and thankfully no one was hurt. Firefighters are still trying to figure out how that all started. And those fires, either way, are a reminder that it's still fire season, even though summer is kind of starting to wind down. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri joining us now. And Joe, are fire dangers going to increase this week?
Absolutely right. We're going to be tracking some of the warmest temperatures we've seen so far this summer. We're going to be warming up tomorrow, and then by Tuesday and Wednesday, Maggie, daytime highs getting in the mid to the upper 90s. And because of the heat, the low relative humidity just kind of tells you just how dry things are in our area. And the winds, there's going to be another factor. That's going to be a big reason why we're going to be under a fire weather watch starting tomorrow afternoon until early Wednesday. And meanwhile, if you're going to be spending any time throughout southern Oregon, a lot of heat over there. This red color you see is excessive heat watch in effect a good part of the week, all the way until 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. So how hot will it be throughout parts of southern Oregon? Some models are saying anywhere from about 98 to 105 degrees. Now, it won't be that warm here in the metro area. We could be seeing highs in the mid to the upper 90s heading into both Tuesday and Wednesday. And as we look at the relative humidity levels, not all that bad right now, at least throughout the metro area. You travel south in Roseburg, 38%. And of course, it's pretty dry on the central and eastern side of the state. Winds will be the other factor I was just talking about. And they will going to start to pick up by tomorrow afternoon down in Salem. Gusts up to about 25 miles per hour throughout your morning commute, and then they'll really pick up heading into, I'd say, 6 o'clock tomorrow night and into Tuesday as well. I'll talk more about the heat and how long it will be staying with us in about 10 minutes.
All right, Joe, sounds good. Thank you. Hey, we have an update tonight on contract negotiations for teachers in the La Center School District. After they voted to strike last week, the union has now reached a tentative agreement and school will start on time. The contract will be voted on Tuesday evening, and that's when we'll learn the details on this agreement. School starts on Wednesday. Well, Blazers Nation was salivating today. Fans took a trip down memory lane with legend Bill Walton. There he is. He took a bike ride through town to kick off the team's 50th anniversary season. This was part of today's Sunday Parkways event, actually. And Walton, it's worth noting, used to ride his bike to home games in the 70s, and fans would line his route to wish him luck. I love that part of this story. He says he was super excited to be back in Portland.
This is where my dreams come true. The dream continues to expand. This is such a remarkable facility, state, community, town, everything here, and this is where I started.
Walton also made a special announcement. He unveiled these red 1977 championship replica jerseys that the Blazers will wear. Look at that photo of Damian Lillard. They're going to wear them at their preseason opener on October 8th. It's getting close, people.